Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about Socrative, which is a great online tool for assessing students in the classroom. Real quick, I'm just going to give a general overview of how to use Socrative and how to go through the process of setting up an account, getting yourself started, and giving your students an actual problem and showing you the student side as well as how to log in and work with a Socrative. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go up here to the teacher login, and we're going to click on that button. Now, if you're a first-time user and you don't have a login, then what I would suggest you do is go down here where it says sign in with Google. If you have a Google account, it'll take you directly in, no problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on sign in with Google. And if you've created an account before, it's going to take you directly to your login. If not, it's going to ask you a couple questions about allowing it to go through. Just click allow and you'll continue to this screen. Now, once you're on the dashboard, you'll notice that there's 5 main tabs. There's the Launch tab, the Quizzes tab, the Room tab, the Reports tab, and then the Results, which only highlights whenever there's an active quiz. On the Launch side, you have quizzes, a space race, and an exit ticket that are all 3 great tools to use. But for today's, we're going to just primarily focus on the quiz. So if you want to create a quiz, the first thing you need to do before you launch a quiz is create a quiz. So go create a quiz. So if you click on quizzes, it's going to give you 4 options: create a quiz, import a quiz, my quizzes, and reports. Now, if you've created a quiz before, you should have something down here in my quizzes. But if not, it's very simple, easy to use. Click on create quiz. And then all you're going to do is give your quiz a name. So we'll call this demo quiz. And the great part about this is that if you want to align it to the standards, you can. It's very simple to do. But for this, we're just going to stay away from that. That way we can go through and understand how to create questions. Now, there's 3 main question types that you can work with. There's a multiple choice, true and false, and short answer. I like to use multiple choice because it gives my students automatic feedback. It grades it for them. And then there's no grading process on my end. Same thing with true and false. There's not a lot of grading process in there. But with short answer, you'll actually have to go in, assess the students, give them a score, and then give it back to them. So they kind of get a delayed response if you can't grade it right then. So what we're going to do, we'll create one of each. So if you click on multiple choice is going to give you 5 answer choices, and then it's going to give you a place to put a question. So we could basically come up with any question here. Just to keep it simple, what we'll do is we'll say, let's say, what is 2 plus 2? And if we type that in, we've got our question. Now, we all know the answer is 4, so we could select whichever one we want it to be. We can click C is going to be 4. We'll go ahead and click on the correct answer. So we click on the tab over here to check it. That way it knows it's correct. And then we can enter in some other answers such as 2, 1, 0. And let's say we don't want to have an answer E. If we don't want to have answer E, we can come over here to this button where there's an X. Click on the X, and then it takes care of, it just gives us 4 options then. If we want to add an answer, we can add as many as we need to, just clicking on the Add button. You can also have the option of putting in an explanation. So if you want to explain to the students why 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, you can do that. It'll show up after the question, but it's really optional. You don't have to do this part. So once you have the question created, you can click Save, and your question's taken care of. Now, something that I didn't point out, let's go back and look. There's also this formatting button. If you turn on the formatting button, what it allows you to do is it allows you to bold, italicize, underline, and then you can also put in subscripts and superscripts in case you have exponents or something to that effect. So this works really great for math, which is very difficult sometimes because they forget to put in equation editors, but that allows us to put in different types of equations like exponents, subscripts, and then if you need to bold a word or italicize or underline, it's great for that as well. You also have the option up here of clicking on this, which allows you to input an image. So you can go in, put in any image that you need to. So if you need to put an image in for your students to look at, that option's there as well. Now, we also have true and false. So if we click on true and false, it's very basic. You can type in a statement. It could be anything here, okay? The sky's blue. we know that to be true, so we can click on true. If it was false, we can click on false. So very, very simple tool here. Once again, you still have the formatting. You have the image you can upload. If you don't like the question, say you get along and you don't like the question, you have the options of deleting. You can change the order, and I believe you can copy or duplicate your question here as well. So that's basically the true and false. Now let's look at the short answer. With the short answer, you can type in your question. All right. Let's say for this particular problem, let's say we want to ask who was the author. So who was the author in the story? Now, if we want to add option choices, we can click add. So we can type in the correct answer. So let's say we read a book on Walt Whitman. Then we would type in the answer would be Walt Whitman. I believe I spelled that correctly, but Walt Whitman. So then you could have your answer choice, and actually I take this back. I believe this would actually grade it. The only problem with this is that if they type in, maybe they don't type in capital, or they type in lowercase, they don't type it in like it looks here on the screen, then they could have issues with getting the answer correct. So they need to make sure they use appropriate grammar whenever they're entering their answer. Sometimes I'll add an answer choice or an answer blank, but for the most part, I try and stay away from, just because there's so many issues that can go wrong with short answer. So like I said, I like to use multiple choice or true and false when I'm creating my quizzes. Now, once you've created a quiz, you can click save and exit. And then once you go back to the launch page, you should be able to click on quiz, and you'll see that your quiz shows up. So when you get ready to give this quiz out to your students, basically you can disable or enable the names. All right, if it's blue, it's on. If it's not, it's off. So if you want to disable the names, you click it on. If you want their names, you want them to put their name in, leave it off. You can randomize the order of the question, which I love to do. You can randomize the answers, which I enjoy doing too. You can hide question feedback, and you can hide the final score if you need to. Now this is if you want it to be student-paced and immediate feedback. If you want it just to be student-paced with student navigation, it takes away one of the option choices, but once again, this is one I like to use if I don't want to give immediate feedback if I'm giving a test or a quiz. And then you also have the option of teacher pace, which allows you to pace the students as they go. So you can pick any of these. I'm going to choose this one, randomize the order of the questions. I'm going to let them see the final score, and I'm going to make them put their name in whenever they type in the room name. So once you click start, it's going to give you a results board where their results will show up. So let's say we're a student. So for students to log in, they would go to Socrative student. They could Google search it if they want to. And then it's going to take them to the login for Socrative student. Now, if you notice up here at the top, I have my room name, which is Frick's Math. You should be able to change your room name to whatever you need it to be just by clicking on room. So if you click on room here, it'll tell you what your name is. You can edit it if you need to, but I think they'll give you a default one, so you may want to change this at first, but make sure you go in and change this to whatever you need it to be. If it's just a random set of numbers, that might not be something your students will remember each time. So change this to something, maybe your last name, maybe your classroom name, whatever you want to choose that to be. And then that's what you'll need to share with your students for them to log in. So when they go to room name, they'll type in Frick's Math. They'll click join. And then it's going to take them into the quiz. Now, it's not taking me into the quiz because I'm still logged in as the teacher. But once I log in, it's going to basically take me through the prompts, going to give me the questions. I can answer the quiz and submit the answers. So we'll go ahead and close this. Now, once you finish the quiz, you'll look here at results. And under results, you'll be able to see all the people that's went in, took the quiz. It'll pop up their answer choices, and it'll actually tell you the percentage of the class that got them right or wrong. We can click on the finish, and it'll give us our reports. I enjoy viewing charts because then it tells me who got it right, who got it wrong. And then what it'll do is it'll take me to a chart. It'll show me the questions. I can click on them and tell how the students did by percentage. And then also, if I ever need to access this report, I can click on reports and it'll be there for me as well. So then I can view results, view chart, and they're there as well. These don't go away until you delete them or until they go through, and I think it goes up to maybe 7 or 8, and then it passes by and goes to your archive. But you can archive quizzes. If you click on a quiz, you want to archive it, you can. That way it's not on your reports, but it's still there. If you want to delete the quiz, just click delete, and the quiz deletes itself. So now it's gone. So that's basically an overview of everything that you see in Socrative. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to comment below in the YouTube comments. I hope this gets you started with Socrative, and I hope you understand that this can be a great tool for you to assess your students. Like I said, any questions that you have, feel free to comment. I'll try my best to make sure I answer those questions. And I hope Socrative is a great tool for you. So good luck on using Socrative, and I hope you enjoy it.